Have you ever had a time where you thought about somebody and immediately they text or call your phone? If you have, you've experienced what I'm going to talk about today, and that is entanglement. In today's video, I'm going to dive deep in how these mysterious connections that we have with those closest to us can possibly be helping or hurting us along our path to growth. Without getting too, scientific with you, I'm going to just explain quantum entanglement. Basically, what they realize is if you take two particles that are entangled, no matter how far apart they are, regardless of the distance between them, as soon as they're entangled, one impacts the other. It just happens faster than the speed of light. Now you're probably asking yourself, what does this got to do with human interaction? Well, just like particles, we are made up of energy. We can become entangled with the people that we interact with throughout our life too. It's what spiritual texts and spiritual teachings have referred to as oneness or this interconnectedness. Think of it like this. The more you interact with someone or are around them, the more your energy becomes entangled with theirs. It's like this invisible cable, like an energetic cable that just connects you with that person, right? The stronger connection, the thicker the cable. So if I say hi to the barista every morning when I'm grabbing a coffee, obviously I'm not going to have the same connection with her or him that I have with my stepdad who calls me every morning, because it's a different entanglement. When you understand how everything is interconnected, you start to pay closer attention to the people that you are more interconnected with or entangled with. You start to look at your social circle, your friends, family, whoever it is. Who am I around and how is their entanglement hurting or helping me? Do I feel drained of my energy when I'm around them? If I call them, do I want to hang up the phone? Do I feel exhausted? Do I have to take a nap after I talk to them? Do I just feel like I'm off or I'm not as connected or I'm not as inspired? You will feel these feelings through your emotions. You just have to quiet the mind and really become more conscious of them, but you'll feel it. Those emotions are there to guide you. So your emotions will tell you, yeah, you don't want to stay around this person or spend more time with this person. My closest friends, my spiritual teacher, my mentor, my other closest friend is a Native American shaman. My other closest friend is my cousin. My other closest friends are my parents and my siblings. I am very careful who I'm tangled with. You're probably seeing a pattern here. These people are either close to me through my family relationship with them or they're close to me through our spiritual relationship. Like, I know the importance of communicating and talking with someone a lot. I know that I'm going to be entangled with them, so I don't want to be entangled with any person that's not on the path that I'm on. If you have people around you that are draining you, like, you're only hurting yourself. It's like running a marathon with a weighted backpack. I mean, sure, you can finish, but why? Why would you want to do that? And I know it's hard, but sometimes you have to cut people off. Like, look, you're at a different place in your journey than me. I've had people I'm around where I'm like, holy cow, this is draining. Those people that just want to talk about how the world is ending. The economy's going to crash and markets are going to collapse and this and that. If we don't have solutions and we only have problems, then what are we even talking about? It's the equivalent of me complaining every day the sky's blue. If I can't come up with a solution for it, then what am I even talking about? If you feel that passionate about the world ending, then you should run for office. I'm like, what do you want me to say to you? And I'm sure you have those people in your life too. And you gotta know how to set those boundaries, man. Now that I'm more isolated, I have a greater level of understanding of how these relationships are actually, in some ways, depending on who I'm referring to, is holding me back. While we're on the topic of energy and connection and entanglement, let's talk about love knots or soul ties, or you might have heard it described differently. Twin flame, I think, is another term. It's essentially an entanglement in reference to a intimate or a relationship, that kind of entanglement. Let me just explain this. These love knots occur when we form very, very deep, close bonds with others. Like your partner, for example, the person you marry. That's an intimate relationship. That's a different type of relationship. There's going to be a love knot there. Okay, this is why they say, and you will become one, right? That's what they're referring to. You're literally merging. The reason why you got to be careful of this is because these energetic ties can greatly, greatly affect you on your path. This is why we need to also be careful who we hook up with. Even if you're doing friends with benefits thing, whatever, we need to be careful about this, because when we're engaging in physical intimacy, we're sharing more than just physical touch. When you are intimate with someone physically, you are exchanging energy on more than one level. It's the emotional energy of that person. You're absorbing and you're exchanging. Like, for example, people who just have a bunch of casual sex and they have multiple partners, they don't understand that you, through intimacy, are exchanging energy. You're merging into one on such a deeper level. This exchange, if with the wrong person, can affect us along our journey, not only just mentally and emotionally, but also spiritually. I'll just share a personal story. As I mentioned earlier, my closest friend, one of my close friends, is a Native American shaman. She's also my acupuncturist. When I first met her, I went to go see her. She scans her hands like over your body. Basically, she's reading the energy in your field. That's what makes her so amazing at what she does, is she can feel that energy and then work the needles accordingly. And she asked me about a girl. Now, to protect the girl's name, let's just call her Allison. She says, "Who's Allison?" Now, me and Allison aren't friends on social media. I didn't tell anyone about her because she was a girl I was like talking to. Then we started hooking up. Then she just kind of ghosted me. And I was just annoyed about it. My attitude was like, hey, if you met someone or something, just let me know. But like, I was starting to like her. At first, I didn't even know who she was referring to because I called her, in this analogy, Allie. So she's like, "Who is Allison?" And I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know an Allison. And then just clicked, Allie. Now, how would she know that? Unless this woman hired FBI agents to bug my phone. There's no way for her to know that. I did not bring that up in conversation with her. I had just met her. Like, I don't know her. That's just one example. I don't want to make this whole video filled with examples, but I can give you a lot more. But I think that one proves the point I'm trying to make, right? It goes to show how you can become entangled with the people that you share that sexual energy with. That's why you just have to be careful. Even if you're just like, let's say you have like a friends with benefits or something, like whatever it is. I don't know your relationship status or what you're doing, or just talking to someone. I would tell anyone to make it clear to them while you're, quote, exchanging energy with them, that it has to be strictly monogamous, just between you two. Because that's what I'm trying to tell you is when you mix multiple energies, you are taking on the energy of anyone they sleep with, and they're taking on the energy of anyone you sleep with. That girl with the fake name Allison is not the only example I could give you. There have been times where I've been in a relationship and I can lay next to my partner at night and just call out things she's thinking. How do I know that? And it's always funny because it would like freak them out at first. Because you're so interconnected, you can literally feel it. Down to like cravings. I mean, we could be sitting on the couch like, craving cheesecake? How do you know? But that's what it is. It's the entanglement. It's the connection. I am like this with one of the close people to me as a mentor. I can literally think about, I'm about to call her and she will be calling me. I can be typing a text to her and she'll call me, and vice versa. It happens we crack up about it because you are entangled with the people that you're closest to. This is why you have to be very, very careful who you are close to. The old saying, you are who you hang with, is so much deeper than that. You literally are who you hang with. Whoever you're around, whoever you're surrounding yourself with, you need to approach those, quote, entanglements with discernment. You need to approach them cautiously. Not every relationship you have or every friendship you have is meant to be long-lasting or spiritually beneficial. And the spirituality side of life, I can't wait to dive deep in those topics. Like, you don't want anything to inhibit your spiritual growth. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about your connection with the Creator, with God. That's where the miracles happen. That's where you can create. This is why we remove ourselves from relationships that do not support our growth, whether it be through our career, or whether it be spiritually. Any relationships in our life that drag us down, we have to cut those ties. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. Now, I mentioned my friend earlier, who is the shaman. She introduced this exercise. It's called letter burning. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but if you're not, let me just explain how it works. If you have a entanglement with someone, let's say it's me and an ex, it's because there's still some emotional charge there. And usually it's a negative emotion. It's like anger or resentment or whatever it is. So I'm holding on to that person because I'm mad at them. With this letter burning exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to write on a sheet of paper a letter to that person. And the letter is going to be written in a way that just forgives them. You want to clear the ties. Let it go. Thank you for the role you've played in my journey. Thank you for the things that I learned from being with you. I'm just speaking if it was romantically. Thank you for the growth you played for me. Even if it was a horrible relationship, it still had a benefit to you. And if you don't see that, then that's your lack of awareness, but it's there. I'm not even going to argue this with you. You can disagree. That's fine. It's there. Every single experience we have has growth in it if we look. I don't care if you were with a narcissist. Thank you for being a narcissist. Now I know what I don't want. You see what I'm saying? And you're going to wish this person the best. I wish you the best on your journey. I hope you find what you're looking for. Whatever it is, you have to let that go. And then when you're done with the letter, you're going to sign it. It's just like writing a formal letter. You're going to take the paper, crumble it up, put it in a pot or something safe, burn it. And then when it's in ash form, you're going to take the ashes and you're going to bury them into the earth. So what started as a tree goes right back into Mother Nature. Now, please don't go burn down the forest trying to do this. When I say pot, bowl, something safe. What I'm really trying to say is be very mindful of the connections and the relationships that you have around you. And ask yourself, do these or does this connection serve me and my highest good? And if not, then you're going to have to cut it off. If it doesn't serve you on your journey to your highest good, you're going to have to cut it off. Now, I understand you have family that might be negative, but you love them. That's fine. Just set your boundaries. Distance yourself. If you have a negative sibling or something, you don't need to be calling them every day if you hang up the phone feeling drained. And I get mad. Like, I literally get mad when people call me with their poor me, pity, BS. Like, I don't have time for this. If you want to call someone and vent about how the world is ending, I'm the last person you want to call. Because when I get down and I get depressed and I feel defeated, I don't call nobody. I don't want to drain your energy. We need to be careful of these people. They're like energy vampires and they will suck the blood out of you. And we don't have time for that because most people want to complain about their problems. They don't want to do anything to fix them. That's not our journey. I've been there, but I'm not there anymore. So that's not my journey. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that I'm not going to be there for my friends. That's way different. I'm saying if I have a friend that calls me just to randomly complain every day, I don't have a solution. You know the difference. Cultivate that inner awareness, cultivate that inner guidance. Be very mindful of the entanglement you have around you. If you're going to be talking with someone, hooking up with someone, make sure you know what kind of person they are emotionally and spiritually before you exchange that energy. So make sure you select those relationships that contribute to your spiritual and personal growth. That's all I'm trying to say. And untangle the ones that no longer serve you. I'm telling you from my own experience, I feel a million times better when I don't talk to people who drain me. If I have to take a nap after I talk to someone, we're not going to be talking much anymore because it's not fair. Why should I feel exhausted because you aren't facing your trials and you aren't dealing with problems that are literally there to help you along your journey, help you to grow and mold? Why should I have to feel worse for that? It's not even my journey. It doesn't make sense. As I wrap this up, I want you to think about the 5 people you are closest to. I want you to ask yourself a question without judgment. Just be honest with yourself. Do these 5 people serve me on my path to my highest purpose and my spiritual growth? If not, you know what you got to do. I already told you. And if you don't do it, then you can hold yourself back. Look, there's a time in my life I was super negative at times, and I would approve this message if someone else was distancing themselves from me. Looking back on that and knowing I'm not that person anymore, I would understand. That's what I want you guys to ponder, and don't believe a word I say, that's fine. Find your own truths. If something I'm saying doesn't resonate, that's okay, move on, find your own. But I'm telling you from my experience, we are all interconnected. There are scientific studies that show how having one happy friend can increase your happiness levels by X amount. I mean, it's actually fascinating. And do your own research. Don't listen to a thing I'm saying. Do your own research. Find your own truth, like I always say. But it's very interesting, I think. I'll tell you one more story before I go. I had a time I woke up it was late. I'm not going to act like I knew the exact minute because I don't remember it, but it was like maybe 2 a.m. I woke up so much anxiety. I just knew something was wrong with my mom. I knew it. And I'm calling her, she's not answering. And then she calls me later that morning. As I was calling her, she was on her way to the hospital because she almost cut her finger off in a blender. Now, someone who's so asleep at the wheel would tell me, oh, what a coincidence. Like she just chops her fingers off every night. You know what I mean? Like my mom's just a walking crash test dummy and every night something goes wrong and I just happen to call while it's happening. Do you know what the odds of that are? That's never happened to her. And the minute it's happening, I'm calling because I can feel something's wrong and we live across the country from each other. It's exactly what they were trying to say in quantum entanglement. The particles, no matter how far apart, are still entangled. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Am I saying that right? Yeah, give it a thumbs up and subscribe because I just want to share these messages with as many people as possible and I want to help you along your journey and I want to guide you on your path to your highest purpose. And I'm also working on a course. This is my shameless plug. You see my new shirt? Make sure you check that out. It is in my bio and it's going to explore personal and spiritual growth and also help you to find your highest purpose, help you to create a plan to go towards that, to obtain that. We'll feature some additional modules too, such as like business, leadership, things like that. It's going to be awesome. I mean, I spent $30,000 last year alone on courses and I am beyond excited to share all of the wisdom that I've gained over the last 10 years with someone else, hopefully help you along your journey. And the good news is it's not going to cost you the amount of money that I've spent. I said $30,000 just last year. Imagine the years before, like, holy cow, I don't even want to look at it. But it's all worth it. It's for the greater good. So thank you so much. And stay tuned.